Did you know, while you were enjoying Vodafone's Zuzu ads during IPL commercial breaks back in 2009, the company was in the midst of a high-profile tax dispute case involving Rs 22,000 crores? Welcome to MyMoneyKarma's primer on Vodafone case, where we explain the background of events and help you put current hot news in perspective. On August 4, 2021, Finance Minister Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman introduced a bill to remove the notorious retrospective effect from the Income Tax Act of 2012. This means the country would stop taxing companies for direct or indirect international transactions related to Indian assets that happened before May 24, 2012. What is this retrospective effect that the government revoked in its latest bill? Why did it happen now? And what does it have to do with Vodafone? That's what you're going to learn in this video. If you're new to this channel, subscribe to MyMoneyKarma for much more amazing financial news and analysis. Let us get to the root cause to understand this dispute better. In the year 2007, Vodafone, a Dutch subsidiary of British Telecom, entered the Indian market by acquiring major shares of Hutch from HSR. HSR is a collaboration between Indian SR and Hong Kong's Hutchison, with SR owning 33% and Hutchison owning 67% shares. The Hong Kong company does not own Hutch directly. The 67% shares of Hutch belong to CGP Investment Holding Company from the Cayman Islands, whose 100% shares belong to Hutchison. When Hutchison decided to sell its Indian Hutch shares in early 2007, Vodafone stepped in and offered to buy them to enter the Indian telecom market. For obvious reasons, instead of buying Hutch shares directly, Vodafone bought 100% shares of CGP Investment Holdings, and with it, it acquired 67% shares of Hutch that are worth $11 billion. The Indian government taxed the telecom company $2.2 billion as the transfer involved Indian asset. Finding this unacceptable, Vodafone challenged the notice in Bombay High Court, which upheld the tax demand. According to Section 9 of Income Tax Law, it said the capital gain tax is applicable. Vodafone then approached the Supreme Court, and in 2012, it won against the Indian government. The Apex Court stated that the sale happened outside India and revenue from this sale was outside the purview of the Indian Tax Department. Though the Supreme Court verdict cannot be changed, the Indian Parliament has the power to change the law. In March 2012, the Indian government introduced the Income Tax Law Amendment in its financial bill that would let the government tax any direct or indirect international transactions related to assets in India. Not only that, it would have a retrospective effect going back to 1961. Not only did this give the Indian Tax Department added powers of jurisdiction, but it also allowed it to charge back taxes for transfer that occurred before the law was even born. Late Pranab Mukherjee, former President of India and then Financial Minister, said that this law prevented companies in India from evading tax by selling shares to entities in tax havens. After this bill was passed and made into law, the government sent another notice to Vodafone the same year to pay Rs 22,000 crores that included taxes and penalties. However, this new income tax law violated the bilateral investment treaty between India and the Netherlands. And as agreed upon, the dispute was taken to the Permanent Court of Arbitration in Hague, Netherlands for settling. In 2014, the tribunal unanimously ruled that India was in breach of the treaty and owed Vodafone Rs 40 crores as compensation. The PCA tribunal in Hague posed India with a larger philosophical issue. How would India want to represent itself on the world stage? As a strong, sovereign state with strong legal frameworks and state capacity, or a weak, unpredictable one that would drop to more and more arbitrary judgments? At the same time, the Indian government had similar complex disputes with other companies like Gain Energy. The power to amend the law is given to Parliament in a democratic country like India to make the constitution an adaptable document. But the retrospective amendment made in 2012 gave the impression of retaliation rather than adaptation. In a global economy, it seems a short-sighted exercise to violate the BIT or fail to use power according to international law. Not only that, the arbitration was prolonged even further instead of sealing the case and moving on. Through the Finance Bill of August 4, 2021, the Indian government promises to pay back all the tax money collected from Vodafone and other companies under the retrospective effect without interest. The bill states that to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic economically, foreign investment plays a vital role, and it is time to stop the uncertainty and welcome the investors with assurances. India is steadily growing into one of the world's largest economies and continues to open up its attractive domestic markets to foreign participation and, more importantly, the capital. There have been several improvements in vital World Bank metrics like the Doing Business Index. This latest bill is sure to further increase the investor friendliness of our economy, projecting a business environment that enjoys stable governance, international standards, and commitment to long-term growth. But what do you think? Comment your views on the Vodafone case below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share. Check out our channel if you'd like to master your personal finances and improve your financial literacy.